Alright, hello YouTube gamers. So we are continuing with our Historic Brawl Challenge where we try to get 5 wins before we get 5 losses with a Historic Brawl deck. We're going to be going through using all of the new Dominuses from New Phyrexia. So this is the black one, Drivnod, the Carnage Dominus. So he's all about giving you additional triggers from creatures dying. So we tried to focus the deck on that. Also got a little bit of Self-Mill and Reanimator, but it's mostly a sacrifice deck. So hopefully we'll fill our graveyard enough that when we play him, we'll be able to make him indestructible if we need to, without it hurting us too much. And we've got a decent amount of removal, a lot of it requiring sacrificing creatures, and a lot of little creatures and token maker things to give me stuff to sacrifice. And then, late game to try and close things out with one of these big guys that we can reanimate, hopefully, while getting some early damage in with some of the smaller guys that will also give us a lot of value. Board control value and mana value and things like that. So let's give it a whirl and see if we can get 5 wins before we get 5 losses with this deck. And if you want to see the my thought process, the deck build and all that, that is on a separate video that you can check out as well if you're interested. Let's play game 1. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the channel and encourages me to make more content if you like what you see. Jet Mirror for round 1. Well, Jet Mirror can be pretty scary if they get a really good draw. Not a lot of mana for this hand, but if I draw even just one land, I at least can Grim Tutor for another land, which can get me to Solemn. Maybe this is worth playing. It's not a great hand, though. I think I'm actually going to mulligan it. Yeah, I'm going to mull this. This is a little better. At least I've got like a 2 and a 3 drop. And we draw land again, but still. Into a potential key. Key is always good. So yeah, let's keep this and see how it goes. One thing I didn't add to this deck that maybe I should is a few things that let me discard cards from my own hand. There's not a lot of that in the deck, just to be able to discard some of these bigger guys that I might want to reanimate. Teleport. Hopefully we can continue to draw land for just a turn or two. So, this thing down. I imagine cards like this and this are going to be extremely good. Not very slow, that's good for this. Okay, now we're guaranteed our commander next turn, that's nice. This. I'm going to play this key so I can discard this foil into the graveyard in case we draw any of our reanimator stuff. Counterspell or Day of Judgment? Hell, even Doomblade isn't going to be bad here. But I think I would rather take Counterspell or Day of Judgment over that. Against a Jet Mirror deck, I have a feeling Day of Judgment would be nice to have in my back pocket in case it works. So I'm going to take that. And next turn we can at least get our Drivnod down. And hope my opponent doesn't have something to do it right away because we can't make it indestructible. Not to mention, if you've got removal spells, it's most likely white stuff that exiles. That won't even really matter anymore. Do you want to play Sir Conrad first? Maybe even Liliana first? Actually, I might want to do Liliana first. Let's attack first, though. But I think I'm going to cast Liliana. I really don't get too much off of this guy right now. I don't have any sack outlets. I don't have any things in my graveyard to give him indestructible if he needs it. Yeah, let's play this and just start making zombie tokens. Force my opponents to play something to deal with that because they cannot let that away from home. Looks like my opponent's missing green mana. He's probably got a handful of green cards or something, that's why he hasn't done anything yet. Finale, yep, makes sense. Getting more land, don't really mind that, but hopefully we'll start drawing some non-land soon too. I'm actually tempted to play my commander and -4 to kill his 2 tokens. I'm going to get more value out of mine, I'll draw a bunch of cards, so yeah, this looks good. Whole lot of soul part triggers and more bastion triggers. Oh my god. That was pretty sick. Wow. Okay. Deck is working. Let's throw this guy down and then see what my opponent's got. Kinda needs a board wipe now, doesn't he? And even that, just draw me 6 cards and get me zombies. Yeah, he's in trouble. Finally got his green mana. I don't know what my opponent can do here that would really save him though. Yeah. I can't say it was a good game, but we won. If the opponent had some green mana earlier, I bet it would have been a bit of a different game, but we also got a pretty stellar draw there, it seemed. Everything came together quite nicely. Don't expect it to function that well all the time, but you never know. This is a brand new deck. It's more OP than I think. Up against a Gix deck, so a bit of a mirror match, at least mirror on color. Gix usually functions a bit differently than my deck does, but I think my deck should have pretty good odds against a Gix deck. Against your typical Gix deck. I don't know, do I want to mulligan this? Seems like a decent hand, but not an amazing hand. But I think I'm going to keep it. It could definitely be worse. Gix almost always has a turn 1 creature. Gives me a treasure token, it's not the worst. I actually think that was a mistake from my opponent to do that. I will take it. Let's see if he wants to throw away some more removal. This guy's actually worth killing. Well, I might feign death it, because it is so good. I'm wondering if this is not your typical Gix deck though, since he didn't lead with a turn 1 creature. Or even a turn 2 creature. He was playing the... Because I made a Gix deck that's far more control oriented and it's way stronger. Alright, he's still got the Changing Outcast. He's still playing few guys. Let's see. Oh, could have drawn that last turn. Nice. I just don't know if I want to use my treasure to get this Bastion out yet. But I guess I should, because then it gives me a Diabolic Intent target as well, and if I draw another little creature I don't mind sacrificing, it'll activate my priests, so... no point in holding back though, so I will attack. Using a priest right now. I can't block, so... step. If I lost life, then +1. Okay. That's not too bad. Oh man. Missing a land drop is not fun. So I could Diabolic Intent my token and go get a land. Or I can just play Yahenni, then my priest is active. What does that really do for me right now? I guess I can get... Does it really do anything for me? But I still think I'd rather at least have this available. I don't think I want to use it just yet, because I really don't want to use Yahenni as a sacrifice target for this. If I have to, I will. But I'll swing with the Yahenni. Oops. Not all attack. No. Yahenni can attack, and if he wants to block and can give up his creature, I'll be fine. Hopefully we'll draw a land next turn. We're going to quickly fall behind if we don't. We're already starting to. Bloodthirst list. Oh, and a Sanctum. I was going to say, he doesn't have any lightning yet. I guess he just got some. So he's playing a very kind of strange version of Gix, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm just going to take it for now. It's not much damage. It's just that when I do use my priest, it's always going to be killing this guy, which isn't going to be doing that much. So it's not that good. Maybe we drew a land. It's helpful. Gets us one closer to our Dominus. Still think I want a Diabolic Intent, but it's probably not going to necessarily be for land at this point. Not sure what for. Maybe I go get our board wipe and prep for that. I don't think this priest is going to be really any good to us this game. I'm still going to keep it up for now, but there's no reason to do this. Do this. I think I'm just going to grab Crux of Fate and hope we draw a land. I think we're going to need the board wipe. I don't think there's anything. Oh, maybe Meat Hook. It's not going to do enough now. We need a guaranteed board wipe, essentially. It's unlikely to play any dragons. We'll just get that and hope for the best. Opponent's about to draw a bunch of cards, so even our board won't bet with that board, but it's still our best bet. Yep, nothing I can do here. And we pretty much need a swamp or it's over, as far as I can tell. Unless we draw something else that changes that, but I don't think there's anything else I can think of for 4 mana that'll really change the game enough. At least my Yahenni will survive the board wipe, so it'll be really big. Looks like you drew removal of some kind. Debating using it. Okay, decides that. I mean, I'm only assuming he had removal because he was scrolling over my creatures there while he was thinking about it. Did not play any more creatures like I was kind of hoping he would. We did not get a land. We got a removal spell, but it's not really great. I think we're pretty much just dead. I'll give it another turn, but board wipe might still save us. So really, the best thing I can do now is probably just Bone Shard this Gix. I'm going to sacrifice my Priest of Forgotten Gods. It's just not going to do anything for me this game right now. Sacrifice a creature. Kill the Gix. Force my opponent to spend most of his mana this turn on replaying him if he wants to get more cards. hopefully not die to his board state. Biggest problem with this being that I'm not going to be able to save the Henny on my board. But maybe I should have discarded a card because of that, but yeah, I guess I could have got rid of the Feigned Death, huh? Yeah. That was a mild mistake, I guess. Not the end of the world or anything. Do I want to Feign Death my Yahenni? I mean, I don't see a point, really. I don't care. He's gonna die anyway, if I get a land, so. And if we don't get a land, we're gonna die, so that's pretty much where we're at. We need to land next turn, an untapped land next turn, or we are dead. I think pretty much every land left in the deck is an untapped land except Malakir Rebirth, so any other land but that. And we're just dead anyway. Oh well. Can't beat Mana Screw, no matter how you play. I mean, that wasn't even like a great Gix draw or anything, we just had a really bad draw. We're up against a Keenan deck now. Wonderful. Boy, do I hate playing against Keenan decks. It is almost never fun, win or lose. This hand isn't great against the Keenan deck, nor is it terrible. I could see it being better, but I can also see it being worse, so I'll just keep this kind of medium hand. He's got the ley line, gives him extra mana, because that's what Kenan needs, is more mana. Signet is a good draw. Now if we actually draw a land next turn, that would be this with Priest of Forgotten Gods should be pretty sick too. I think there is a moment, if I remember right on the timing rules, where you can respond to this thing's trigger by activating this and sack him to it, so but then it'll kill your priest unless you have another creature, I suppose, because the trigger would still be on the stack, but still could be worth it in a pinch. Well, we didn't get a land, which is sad, but we did get a mana rock. But that is pretty slow. Man, if that came in the other reverse order, that would have been perfect, because then I could have still played the priest. I'm thinking about just playing the Disciple here, because it's always going to hit a mana rock, a mana dork at this point. But I think playing the Cold Steel Heart's better. But we're in kind of similar situation the last game. We're just not getting our land drops, and we're probably going to die because of it, especially being up against the Kinnan deck, which tends to be very, very explosive. It's very hard to beat Kinnan when you're not. The time you need to get out of the mana screws. Well, that's land. Not great land, but it's land. So now we got 5 mana though. Can't really do a whole lot with it though. Thinking Headless Horseman and Priest of Forgotten Gods is one way, but then my opponent's going to get a turn with a shit ton of mana. I mean, that's pretty much unavoidable. The only other option really is to play Demon's Disciple and force him to kill his Tangled, whatever it's called, just to give him a little less mana. He's still going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without a land drop. So he's still going to get a Kinnan activation almost certainly. So I don't think it's actually worth playing the Disciple yet. I think I'd rather set things up with this. And just maybe be able to get a lot of board control next turn, depending on what happens this turn. I assume he's activating Kinnan, but maybe he has other things. Slow, that's good for us. Still might get a Kinnan activation though. I guess there's no reason to wait on it, or to not do it on my end step. Unless he gets, what, Crater Hoof or something, but even then it won't do that much. Oh yeah, he's getting even more mana too because of that ley line. Yeah. Definitely glad I didn't go for the Demon Disciple play. Okay, he's just drawing cards. Alright, that's not so bad then. I feel like we have a shot here. And if I remember right, the way this land's good, the way the triggering works on all this is I get to do this -1/-1 before he decides what he's sacrificing to this. So I'll be able to kill that, and then he'll have to actually sacrifice something good. Just trying to decide if I want to play the Dominus first, because if I do that right, it doesn't do anything through that, but it does get me 2 zombies and 2 of these triggers, which means I could actually kill. Actually matter. So really, all it does is get me an extra zombie and an extra treasure. So I think I'm going to hold back on playing Drivnod. I think this will probably be better afterwards. So yeah, we're going to do this. Target player, one. Sacrifice these 2. I'll definitely do this. Kill that. That's fine. Drew a Yara. It's not a bad one either. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Almost played my whole hand. My opponent's just off of it? Wow. Okay. I didn't feel like we were losing. We were winning there, but guess my opponent disagreed. I guess we'll take a win against an easy win against Kinnan. I hate playing against Kinnan, so glad that's over. I'm really surprised he quit there, but I mean, I felt like I was going to play the Demon Disciple, which would have killed my opponent, killed one of his Sanctum Weavers. Then I would have played one of the other 3 drops. I probably would have played a Yara first. Played that. And then, I don't know, I think that like he would have just come right back and I would have been pretty much all out of gas. I would have been able to get one more Priest trigger, but I wouldn't have really stopped him that much. Oh well, it's fine. Some people just want easy wins, I guess. They don't want to actually have to think. This hand seems fine. We're up against an Eska deck, which is reminding me that I probably should throw a Feed the Swarm in this deck just so I have some way of killing the champions. But hopefully I don't just die to the bridge RNG. I don't feel like my deck is very good against a deck like this. So we're probably unfavored this match. Especially with them drawing Sithis. they missed a land drop. Normally I hate games where my opponent gets mana screwed, but against a bridge deck I don't feel bad for him at all. I think I'm actually going to sacrifice my Carrion Thrall here so I can get my I'm not even going to count that one, that wasn't even a game. Didn't even last 3 turns. That does not count. Maybe we'll get a real match this time, but I'm glad he quit. I didn't really want to play the long game against an Esca bridge deck. He probably wins that game like 80% of the time or more. Even missing a land drop. Heliod. Heliod can be very strong. But I feel like we have a pretty good matchup against it. It's probably somewhere around 50-50. This hand is another one that definitely needs to draw some land to do anything, but at least I have some early plays. I'll keep it. Pretty much always need to draw land. We drew something. Alright, I think I am going to still play this now so I can get my gas out. Play this next turn since I don't have any 2-drops anyways. Of course, since I chose this, I'll probably draw a 2-drop. Oh, he has a Voice of the Blessed. Alright, so we're up against a Heliod with a above average draw already. Alright, not a 2-drop I really wanted to play, although maybe I should. But as predicted, I did draw a 2-drop. So if I do Diabolic Intent, it does get rid of his Luminarch. Does that really matter? And then I can't play a 3-drop next turn unless I draw a swamp. I think the 3-drop by next turn is a little more important. So we'll just do this. Pass. At least my little Ghast here should keep his Voice of the Blessed back, if he wants to keep his Veteran alive. Man, he really did get an above average draw here. This is like all the best cards you can possibly get with Heliod in the first 3 turns. If that was a Soul Warden, it would have been a God draw. It's still nearly a... What? What? What kind of attack is this? Does he have some way of saving it? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I don't think he wanted to do that. Wow, okay. That was surprising. So I'm definitely going to want a board wipe, but I am short mana quite significantly. So we're hoping to draw a land. I don't think I'm going to tutor yet, though. I'm going to see what we draw next turn. I think I'm going to play a Yara for now. Maybe Braids. If he doesn't have a life gain, I can maybe trade for that. Yeah, I think that's better. No, I'm not going to do that part yet. So we're mana screwed against a Heliod with a very strong draw signal. So we're in a lot of shit at the moment. Alright, good, that worked. And we didn't draw a land. Now we're fucked. At least I drew a Ravenous Chupacabra. Alright, 2 for land. Playing anything else, so I'm either going to land up and come in tap no matter what, right? Maybe I get Phyrexian Tower. I only have 1 swamp, so getting Cabal won't do shit. I'm just going to grab the tower. maybe that'll get us to mana if we end up drawing our Crux of Fate or something, or a Meat Hook. I don't know. I felt like we really needed to draw some land, like the 2 turns in a row, to have a chance here. Because then that turn I could have tutored for Crux of Fate. But we're just going to fall too far behind. At least he did nothing this turn. Oh, he activates Heliod though, so it's not nothing, I guess. Taking a shitload of damage. Well, not willing to do that. Accident wasn't questionable, but he's got a good enough draw that even through his bad plays we're losing. And we're also not drawing land at all. So I guess we're just dead. I don't think there's anything I can do at this point that's really going to matter. I mean, I guess I can Chupacabra his voice, and maybe that gives us some vague hope, but unlikely. Try though. He's also drawing extra cards because of that Sigarda's thing. He only has that. That's his best play. I mean, not so bad. What does this creature do? Whenever you get a physical counter on him and when you get 25 more life, he has double strike. Oh, okay. Well, that's bad for us. Now we're getting land. Of course, if we Diabolic Intent now, we are getting lethal, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still only have 4 mana left if I do Diabolic Intent for something, so I don't have anything for 4 mana to clear this board. So I guess we just gotta play for survival. And that's probably not even gonna happen. Let's see, so if I play a Yara... Still doesn't feel real good here. But I guess I'm gonna play a Yara. Our best bet. Yara to block and Diabolic Intent for the board wipe. What board wipe do I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Potentially 6 mana, but guaranteed 5 mana, so I guess it's just going to be the Crux. Doubt my opponent will play a dragon. But even this Crux of Fate isn't necessarily putting us in a great spot, it's just surviving barely. That's lethal. Okay. Can't beat Heliod when you get mana screwed and they get a near god draw. That is unfortunate. That's definitely one of the strongest Heliod draws you can get, though. That sequence of cards he got every single turn, basically, except for maybe 1 or 2 cards. That was very nearly everything I would pick to draw with a Heliod deck. Okay. Arena continuing its trend of never letting you draw 3 large hands. So let's go with it again. Wow, my opponent bumped down to 4 cards. Well, good for you sticking around. A lot of people would have just, as soon as they had to go down a card, would have just conceded. Maybe we have an opponent that'll stick with it no matter what. We'll see. But he's going to be at a pretty big disadvantage. Then again, he's playing a hyper aggro deck. That's usually how this guy's built, so he might not need much to win. And as usual, we were hoping to draw in. Always are in Arena, it seems. And we did this time. I think I'm going to go for the key. Not really what I was looking for at all. Probably just going to discard whatever I get here. I just don't see... maybe Lightning Helix is worth it against a deck like this, actually. Yeah, alright, I'll take the Lightning Helix and discard the Worm. I think. Maybe the black market is too slow. Yeah. And that's just a card to exile to him if we need it. Which, against a red-blue deck, that indestructible ability might actually help. We did nothing. Wasn't expecting him to do nothing. Must be holding up a counterspell. So I've got 6 mana. I'm not just going to slam my commander. There's no reason to do that right now. And I want to hold up my Lightning Helix. I would rather him counter it on his turn. Oh, he's only got 2 cards in hand too. I forgot he mulliganed some though. He probably just doesn't have anything to do either. Which means there's no guarantees holding up a counterspell. Might even just try and slam this Wormcoil Engine, and if it gets countered, I don't really care. But I think it still might be better to play 2 things instead. Let's go for Yahenni first, because that is... Well, I do kind of still want to hold up this Lightning Helix, so maybe I'll just go for the Pitiless. That's definitely a counterspell if you've got it, and I don't really care about it that much. Does not have it, just insta-resolve, so good. Alright, so he's just got nothing. Still rather wait till his end step on the Lightning Helix. I think I'll just do it now, actually. Screw it. In case he draws a counterspell or something. Now we have, what? 2 cards in the graveyard to eat for him. He needs 3. Just replace his commander. That's fine. Alright, well, Pitiless Plunderer sticks on the board. That's really good for us. That card is disgusting. He's just... he's realizing this is going to go real bad for him soon. And it was. I was just trying to decide the best way to go, but it was probably going to be Woe Strider into other things. Getting lots of treasures, and... yeah. That one, at least we had a few turns, so it barely counts as a game, but I will count that one unlike the other. Hello. I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Just playing my Historic Brawl challenge here. I'm building one of each of these Dominus decks. I'm on the black one now. And I just try and get 5 wins before I get 5 losses. So I just kind of try and do my own little challenge here, and hoping that Arena will eventually make their own. How's your day going? What's that name? Nova Rowan. Cool name. Well, this hand is excellent. So many things I can do with this Dark Ritual. I'm trying to decide what the best thing to do. I'm thinking even just doing a turn 1 Flesh Gorger if I'm up against a Bant deck. I think I'm just going to do that. I think there's a good chance that this is going to get in a lot of damage and give me a lot of life. That needs like basically swords. It doesn't have it. It's good. Now I can do this and this. Technically should have attacked first. Alright, rolled a few things. Ooh, Pulse Strider, nice. Now we've at least got some fuel for our commander to get indestructible in case we need it. Although chances are the removal that this guy would have is not going to be regular removal, it'll be exile removal, so his ability probably won't matter much. Through a tutor, that's nice. So... stream is going pretty well overall. I mean, I just do it for fun, just mostly for friends and stuff, but you know, if can ever get to the point where I'm affiliated and generate a little bit of ad revenue, that'd be sweet. Brainstorms in response to Grim Tutor. Okay. Probably should have waited on that just because I still have another mana, so it's not quite full information, but probably doesn't matter either. I don't even know what I want right now. What am I at for mana? 4. I think I might just grab one of my sack outlets. Gorger and Spire. I think I'm actually just going to grab Ashnod's Altar at this point. Since that can get me to the mana I need to get my Commander or my Liliana. In case I don't want. Basically on. Ability of Council, that's mildly good. This deck doesn't care about that too much. Zulaport Cutthroat. I think I want the Ashnod's Altar more at this point. Let's swing first. I mean, I'm already getting my opponent pretty damn low here, so he's gonna want. He's gonna need a board wipe to live. So if he has a board wipe, I don't want to play into it with the Zulaport either. Even though it would cost him 3 damage, but yeah. See what my opponent does here. Well, my schedule is on my Twitch page if you want to check that out. But I don't stream every day, but I do stream like pretty consistently 3 to 4 days a week, and sometimes I stream on other days for short streams. Like on like Tuesdays, I tend to be pretty busy, so I don't always stream on Tuesdays. The same is true on Fridays. I'll usually stream on Saturday afternoon, but not every Saturday, depending on what I have going on in real life. But like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the 3 days that I pretty much always stream for sure. Okay, opponent did not have a board wipe. It has a couple of things that threw it away though. I don't think we have lethal this turn. Oh, nice stand for it. I think I might Liliana. Worst case scenario that shuts off his Heliod. Do I have enough mana to do Heliod? Let's Liliana end this and keep this guy alive. Don't really have enough to do both. Kinda. I mean, right now I'm mostly streaming Magic the Gathering. I've tried streaming some other games a little while back, but nobody I knew was really watching it, so I've kind of slowed down on that for the moment. But I do plan to stream other games at some point. I'm just kind of trying to get a foothold in streaming with Magic first, though. I don't think I'm going to Liliana, because I think that's just going to hurt me as much as him. I'm pretty sure that my opponent simply doesn't have a board wipe, or he would have done it that turn. You could always top deck it, but... Alright, so I am going to swing with this thing. I want to see what my opponent does here. If he wants to give up his commander. I'm going to play Zulaport. I'm going to sacrifice my... Oh yeah, he gets Heliod triggers. That's fine. I don't think that makes a difference to me. And then I'm going to sacrifice Stitcher. And I'm going to play him. Oh, okay. So you're here just to try and drum up some business then? Yeah, I'm not at a point where I can really hire anybody to help me out with anything right now. I'm doing it all myself. I appreciate the effort. Yeah, maybe another time I will check that out. But like I said, I'm just starting out. I'm not really in a position to be hiring people to do stuff for my channel yet. But I might come to a point where I'm willing to do that. Just I'm not there yet. So. But, I appreciate you coming by. I don't have a Discord set up yet, but if you want to message me on Twitter, that is the best way to reach me that way. And, if you send me a link, I'll check out your stuff. And if the time comes that I am looking for somebody, then I can make a decision about that. All right. So my opponent has gotten back up in life quite a bit, which I'm not too thrilled about. But we did draw a Piteous Plunderer, which should be pretty good. I think I might be getting the Liliana down this turn, though. I just want better things to sacrifice to her than these. Then again, the Gorger really isn't doing much for me anymore. He's better off in the graveyard as the bigger version, in case I get Reanimator stuff. The other problem with playing Liliana is that I do have to sacrifice something else as well. So I think I'm actually going to go for I got time here. I'm going to go for the Wolf Strider. So this. And hopefully my opponent doesn't do too much more to his board state this turn. Just keeps popping these guys, it doesn't really matter. I still feel like we are pretty far ahead right now. Toski doesn't matter. I'm actually tempted to trade my commander for his right now. Well, I wouldn't even trade. I can get my commander can get indestructible. So. I think I will do this. There's something stopping me from activating my commander's ability. Why can't I activate my commander's ability? I don't see anything that's stopping me from doing that. What the heck? Exile 3 cards, I have 4 cards. What the hell's going on here? Why can't I activate my commander? Oh, it has to be creature cards, that's why. Okay. I thought it was any cards. Damn, that's way worse than wow, that's a shitty Dominus. But it was still a worthwhile trade. Funny, I was actually thinking this guy wasn't even that good if he could get exile 3 of any card from the graveyard. It's only creatures though, so he's even worse than I thought. It's unfortunate. Alright, my opponent, I mean, he probably feels good because he's gotten so much life back, but I think we've definitely got major control of this game at this point, especially with Liliana. Sure. Basically can't move from here. But we'll see, maybe it'll surprise me. But I feel like we're pretty far ahead right now. Okay, just to depopulate, not so bad. so my opponent will lose 2 life if I let this resolve. As is. Either way, I'm drawing 2 cards, which is good. I don't have a multicolored, so I'm not drawing from that. But yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, so I'd rather get a scry off and see what we got. I don't think I want that right now. Probably gonna end up cutting that black market out of the deck. It just hasn't been very good. Yeah, I think you needed that depopulate like several things ago, opponent. But that's a cool one. I really wanted to get this guy out, so I'm glad I'm going to be able to do that. Yeah, all he's doing is leveling up his card class. Sure. Yeah, Toski, sure. I do like how my opponent is playing like he's still in it somehow. I'll just pay the mana for this. Maybe I'll just kill the zombie and draw it. Yeah, your counters on Toski. So now I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 6 mana left. I think I'm going to actually just play this guy, just because I really want to try him out. And then we'll try and get the Dominus down next turn to get 2 triggers off of him. I guess I could technically stack him now, not be greedy, and get my Erebos down too, or my pit at this point. No, wait. Not in a rush. Opponent is pretty much drawing nothing so far, so. There's the commander again. Custom almost all of me. Oh, he's killing my Ashnats. That makes me sad. Let's see what we get off this side. Doesn't want to see you, okay. Yeah, I mean, he was dead for a long time there, he just didn't know it yet. So that is 4 wins. Let's see if we can get our 5th win now. Tatiova. I feel like people who play Tatiova on Brawl like to masturbate in public. Because they just like playing with themselves in front of strangers. That's all that deck does. It seems reasonable. Yeah, every time I'm seeing this card, I'm like wishing it was pretty much anything else, so I think I'm going to cut this out of the deck. I've just been disappointed with it in this deck. I think it would be better in like one of my other decks that I have. It's just not good enough for this deck. This deck doesn't have quite enough removal for it. Ooh, Dark Ritual is nice. I'll wait on that. Considering we're up against a blue-green deck, I think I'm just going to Dark Ritual out my Dominus right now. It's very unlikely that he'll be able to kill it. have an 8/3 breathing down his neck, so that'll be some good damage I should be able to get in with him. I have to be able to get 3 creatures in my graveyard to use his ability, so it's not going to happen too often. At least not quickly. And we didn't draw land, that sucks. Man, why can't I get mana? Or a 1 or 2 drop would have been just fine too. What a disappointing draw this turned into. Such a good start too. Now I'm going to have to watch my opponent play with himself. At least I assume he's getting the Tatiova down now. At least he already used his Fabled Passage before he got attacked. Just time warping for no reason, okay. I don't know why you wouldn't save your time warp until you actually had a board advantage, but okay. There's a Renin. Okay, he's still not playing Tatiova, so that's good. Does not scare me too much. Oh, he's not even minusing it? Okay. Got it. He's actually missing mana, okay. And he's good. If I had something to do with my 2 mana, I would use this now, but I don't, so let's wait till next turn and see what happens. Tachio if I will control. Deadly Speed's pretty good here. Better than the Priest, probably. Though I can still do that potentially afterwards as well. Let's just sack the Solemn, get 2 cards out of it, so I'm going to get a whole lot of cards out. Oh yeah, I just realized that's one thing I can take out of it. I can take this black market out for the Shield Red, the 4-mana Shield Red, who should be in this deck too. I did forget about that. That's a perfect trade-off. I would way rather have had a Shield Red this game. What is my opponent stopping on? What the hell is he possibly going to do in response to this? Or is he just not there? Maybe he stepped away from his computer or something. They did. bad. Kill the Tatiova or the giant tree. It's a tough choice. I think I need to kill the Tatiova though, just so he has to spend 7 mana to play it again next turn. I don't really care about the tree that much. We have a good target to use our priest on as well. Just trying to decide if I want to do that this turn or not. Do I have 3 creatures in the graveyard yet? Just 1? That would make 2, 3 if I decide to get rid of the Blood Artist. Which isn't ideal, but I think it's going to be worth doing. Yeah, let's do it. Now we can at least activate our Dominus Indestructible if we need to, which we may. I don't know what he's going to sack here. I assume this, but he may sack that, and that would shrink this. Onto his monument. I don't know if I want to do that. So yeah, you get rid of his 3/4. That's surprising. I'm gonna be able to get a good massacre off too this game probably. I think I'm gonna go for the Ashnods. River's Rebuke. That's annoying. But it could be worse. At least he didn't play Tatiova again. I don't think I want to sack anything in response. That is pretty boring. I think I'm just going to quit now. I don't really want to play this game anymore. I didn't really want to play it in the first place. I'll just take the loss and move on to a real match, hopefully. I really hate Tatiova there. I hate playing against Simic decks in general with this kind of a deck. Most Simic decks are really, really just boring. Unless you're the one piloting. Great, another Simic deck, but at least it's just a slow work. It's not like it's a Cannon or Tatiova or something, so not as bad. This hand is not exactly good. Not exactly terrible either. Guess I'll keep it. So what does Slow do exactly? What has to do with land things? Yeah, okay, it's just weird. Probably would have liked to have this later against this deck, but choice. Can't depend on drawing nothing but swamps. I think we will start with Drivnod. Well, at least we have to, if we had to get matched up against another Simic deck, it was just a Slowbird deck. I'm not too worried about that. It doesn't seem like it'll be nearly as annoying as most other Simic decks are. Do I want to kill this Minor Elf? I think I kind of do. I might end up regretting using this, but we'll see how it goes. Get a couple of spawn here, so I spawn. Might get me my commander next turn. We got one creature in the graveyard to sack him now. What does this guy do? Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana, I draw a card. They draw a card. Okay. We have a little bit of that in the deck, I guess. I don't really care about that creature. Okay, anyway. Oh, I don't have a way to make him indestructible yet. I really can't depend on that. Requires 3 creatures in the graveyard. What a terrible freaking build. I think this might be the worst of all the Dominuses as far as the ability goes, like the exile ability goes. I remember the red one being kind of bad too. Okay, opponent's doing things, but don't really know too much. Okay, did not attack, which is surprising. Good. I think I'm going to save the Sir Conrad for now. Play this, this. We'll just hold up for now. Hopefully we can draw one of our sacrifice outlets soon. That would be really good. Shaya, that's a big one. Okay, now let's get something that's actually threatening. What did you get off this? Key. It's not so bad. He's already got so much mana, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully he doesn't get anything too good off the key. Ditched an ancient Greenwood. Do I want to get back my creature from the graveyard? I don't think I do. I think I want to save him there for my Dominus. Not really need him that bad. Open the Graves. It's a cool card when I can actually get a sack outlet. I'll play it though. At least if my opponent attacks me, I have something to block with and get me 2 cards. That'd be nice. And it's another creature I don't care about in the graveyard to sacrifice or to exile to my Dominus. Copy this fight rating, okay. Makes sense, I might get a free card out of it right away. I will get a free card out of it right away, hopefully it's nothing too good. So far my opponent hasn't done anything that I'm really too worried about. I'm more worried about our bad draws. Hopefully we get something that lets us sacrifice creatures for some benefit. That would be very useful very soon. Got a land out of it. Wow, that must have been pretty terrible. 5 cards on top. Oh, he finally decides to attack. Okay, good. Just take the 6. Now we get a whole bunch of stuff. Well, at least we got a sack outlet. Alright, so I've got 5 mana, I've got 7 mana with Dark Ritual. Don't think 7 mana is going to make much of a difference at this moment. So if I play Bantu's Monument and then Yaheni, that seems pretty good to me. What was your counter? Spark for my. I don't think that really did anything. Plus side, our opponent is pretty much out of cards in hand. I don't think he has any real Slowgrowth things going on, right? Whenever a land is put in your graveyard from anywhere, some counter from a return to owner's hand. Yeah, so nothing to do with that. So. I guess he does get to draw cards if I activate his ability though. Having a lot of mana. Escape shifting. What's that going to do for him? I guess it's going to make him really big. Yeah, okay, escape shift is really good for him. That's probably God tier draw. At least it's not trample. Or is it? Oh, he is trample. Alright, well, that puts us on a clock, I'm sure. So we're going to need to draw something very useful very soon. Why is he not putting it on his trampler? I mean, thank you. I don't know why he's doing it this way, but tramplers are not a threat. They're not tramplers. Really don't want to give my opponent a card draw, but I guess I have to. Need some removal. That is not removal. Don't think playing Dominus is really going to matter too much here, but I guess it gives me a big blocker. Only big on power though. Kind of need toughness right now. Which means I'm probably better off playing Sir Conrad. Imagine how dead we'd be if he was actually putting these counters on Slowgrowth the whole time. He actually would have lethal this turn, probably. Or at least close to it. Wonderful. That's just God drawing. That's game. I'm just going to go now. That's 2 God draws we've had today on our opponent's side. 0 on ours. Those things are supposed to be rare, aren't they? Oh no, they're only rare for me. Opponents get them all the time, it seems like. That was definitely disappointing. Minsk and Boo. Well, that's probably a bad matchup for us. We don't have enough good removal in this deck for a Minsk and Boo deck, probably. This hand looks pretty atrocious. Let's mulligan that. That fucking black market again. This is not a good hand either, but I'd rather keep a mediocre hand, then go down a cards. If this was like a tournament or something, I would definitely have mulligan. Okay, so we don't even have a match. Next. So we are, once we have a real game, that'll be our final game with this run anyway. Let's see if the terrible Drivnod can actually win the Historic Brawl Challenge. Now that I definitely had a misunderstanding about how his ability worked. Now that I see how it actually works, I see how bad he is. His hand is okay. It needs help as usual, but if we draw into some land, we'll be just fine against the Shatterfang deck. Most likely, anyway. Assuming my opponent doesn't get a god tier draw yet again. Good start for us. Brawl Sanctuary is pretty bad. I think that might be the first time I've seen someone actually play this card, even in a Shatterfang deck, which is like where it's certainly good. It's such a bad card. The only deck it's playable in, and it's barely playable. We got land. Monument. So we can do more stuff next turn. Hopefully draw more land. At least one or two more land. Scoot Swarm. Okay. That has to die for sure. Not land, sadly. So I can really only get one creature down, but this is going to be the Dragons. I don't want to wait too long on going the Scoot Swarm and have that. Oh, we got Brawl Sanctuary back, holy shit. OP. My opponent is winning this game because of Brawl Sanctuary or something. Probably should have played his land first so we could play his Brawl Sanctuary. What the hell is this thing again? Where you draw your second card each turn, I guess I probably don't need this card in this deck either. I don't know how it made 3 cuts, and I just didn't notice it, I guess. Oh, it's because when he dies, every turn target creature with many value 3 or less from graveyard to battlefield. Which is even worse with the Dominus, because I'm going to want to sacrifice or exile the cards out of my graveyard for him. So this guy's pretty terrible for this deck, isn't he? I really wish I drew a land. All Plaguecrafter's going to do is kill his plant token. That really doesn't matter. Guess I'm holding up Murderous Rider to Swift End his Chatterfang. Just trying to decide if I want to do it now. How does that work exactly again? Sacrifice squirrels specifically. Okay, so can't kill my Chupacabra now, so I wait. Let's see if it does anything. This first. If I drew a land, that would have been sweet. And I could have played like this and this. Probably gonna wait till end step to kill Chatterfang, most likely, but we'll see. I don't really care if it kills my Chupacabra. Oh, you kill my money. That's enough. I mean, it's just something. Thinking maybe I'll leave the Chatterfang alive for now until that grass can... If I do this, I'm probably just going to mill 3 swamps, right? That's usually how that works. Gotta get some stuff on the boards. I don't feel like that Plague Crafter's going to do enough. I'm going to try and save that until maybe after like a Meat Hook Massacre or a board wipe if I can ever draw one of those. If Stitch's Supplier hits 3 swamps, or even just a couple of swamps off the top, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. But probably will. Yep, there it goes. 2 swamps, one of them off the top, of course. Game can fuck you over, it fucks you over. Most of the time. But there's also a chance it milled me to a land, so hopefully that happened. He God drawed us. He doesn't have the mana to do it yet. Gives us one more chance to maybe get a kill on that. I think I have to look at this too, right? Yep, that's game. We got mana screwed against yet another God tier draw on our opponent's side. We definitely should have won against Chatterfang. I feel like we were highly favored in that matchup, so that was a very big disappointment. But alright, went 4-5. Not a terrible showing overall, especially considering we 3 of our losses were to just complete RNG bullshit. But hey, it happens. It's Arena. It happens a lot in Arena. Anyway, thanks for watching, so please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Till then, happy gaming.